Good evening, my friend. Welcome home. It is time for WDW Radio Live. I am Lou Mangello. It is Wednesday night, hopefully your favorite night of the week, because I get to spend and share some of it with you. If you're watching live, thank you for being here. Please do me a favor, tag and invite a friend to watch along with us. And if you're watching on the replay, join us every Wednesday right here, sometimes out there at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Thank you for being part of the community and conversation. It is good to be back tonight. It is all things Disneyland Paris. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about this week's show, the incredible contest and giveaway that we have running for the next couple of weeks as part of our 30 Reasons to Visit Disneyland Paris podcast. I need to put these on so I can actually see what you're saying. Yeah, Jim says it's the second time I wear a hat. Listen, as my friend Lauren likes to call it, this is the unsexy side of entrepreneurship. The day has been long. It's been hectic. It has been nonstop. And listen, we're all friends here. In the interest of full vulnerability and transparency, I don't always make it to the shower. Like before, I just, I run in here, I start working, and it just sort of snowballs. The next thing you know, it's 7:27 and it's showtime. So here we are. This is it. This is me. And this is the way it looks sometimes behind the scenes. At least I'm somewhat shaven. That's somewhat of a plus. So somebody says the music is still going. I don't see it. All right. Well, it doesn't matter. Thank you very much for being here. If you're watching for the first time, thank you. Welcome. Tell me where you are watching from, and have you ever been to Disneyland Paris? All of you, let me know. Have you ever been to Disneyland Paris? And if not, is Disneyland Paris, now my hat's crooked. Now I can't stop looking at the fact that my hat is somewhat crooked. Is Disneyland Paris on your radar / Disney bucket list? Kira says, we've always wanted to go. We were in Paris only for a day. We saw the city, but next time we're there, Disneyland Paris will happen. It should happen. And one of the things we talked about, one of the first reasons we talked about why we love Disneyland Paris is not just the proximity to Paris, which is a beautiful city, by the way, very easy to get around, so much to see and do, but you can get there. Car was about 45 minutes. It's like half that time via train. It's very, very easy, and love the fact that the train literally goes right into the center of the Disney Village with Disney Studios Park and Disneyland Park, literally just steps away. So Pamela says, what insignia is on the hat? Trivia question. What insignia is on my hat? You should know this. I won't even give you any hints. Somebody's going to know it. Somebody's going to get it very, very quickly, I think. Courtney says, we are from Long Island, or as people from Long Island, let's say Long Island. It's just one word. The G is where sort of the accent hits. We've been to Disneyland Paris once. Want to go back again. When was the last time you're there? Because there's so much, and this year's been my first time, but so much new for the 30th anniversary and in the past few years, not just including Avengers Campus and Pym Test Kitchen, which I love, by the way. But I love some of the decor. And if you can go to Disneyland Paris for like 1 hour, make sure it's at the end of the night, because you should go see the dragon, ride Phantom Manor, and then watch the Disney Dreams and Disney Delight shows on and over and around and with and through. Like, I won't even try and pronounce the castle again, but in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle, you can see and do those three things and get your time and money's worth. And just the park, we talk about it over and over again. The park is just so beautiful. So, Chauncey Friend, good to see you, brother. Long time no see. Sheldon says now it's even higher up on the list, which is good to see. You know, it's funny because Disneyland Paris was sort of always on my radar. For one reason or another, it didn't happen. Then COVID happened. A lot of sort of plans and blue sky plans got pushed back. And like, I knew I wanted to go, but it wasn't until I went there that I realized just how much I was missing and just how much I was shocked. Shocked, I tells you, how much I fell in love with that park very, very quickly. Like, the way that I described it on the show, that sort of just is really the way it is. Like, the first time you see somebody, you're like, wow, he or she, like, so pretty. Like, but then the more you get to know them, like, that's when you really fall in love with them. That's how I felt about Disneyland Paris on this trip. I thought she was beautiful the first time I saw her, but I really, really, really fell in love. And like, I'm anxious, like, I'm jonesing to go back. And I know we're doing our Adventures by Disney next year to London, Paris, which, by the way, is sold out. There is a current wait list available. This is the part where Becky goes, we should just do back-to-back because there's so many people on the wait list. Maybe not back-to-back, but we are going next year. And if you are in London and or Paris, I will beat you to the punch. Yes, we are planning on doing meetups, hopefully before and or after in London and Paris. But I'm looking forward to going, and then after Paris, spending a couple days back in Disneyland Paris again. Jamie says, I went last year. It was spectacular. Jamie, it's those are the type of words that people use to describe the beauty of the Disneyland Paris park. And there's a new segment I'm going to introduce on the show either next week or the week after. And that conversation is going to be part of a discussion we're going to have in this new segment. Sort of where does Disneyland Paris sit in terms of the sort of ratings and rankings with the other parks? I mean, just from a pure visual aesthetic point of view, it may be the most beautiful of the Disneyland parks, right? Magic Kingdom, Disneyland, Tokyo Disneyland, Hong Kong Disneyland. It may be visually the most beautiful of the parks. And the more time I spent exploring it, it just seemed to sort of just go on and on. It was sort of like an open world park, right? If you're a gamer, it felt like an open world park because the deeper I went into Adventureland, the more I got to explore and enjoy of Adventureland. And the park sort of opens up around you, right? As you turn corners, it's brilliant in its design and engineering because, and I think about places like Disney's Animal Kingdom, it works well here too. You can't necessarily see around every corner. You can't see past the greenery. You can't see past a hill or an attraction or a building. And so when you turn that corner, like on Main Street USA in Walt Disney World, you get these reveal moments. And sometimes they are spectacular, right? It might be a pirate ship. It might be Skull Rock. It might be Big Thunder Mountain Railroad or Phantom Manor off in the distance. And sometimes they're just smaller and more subtle, but they're these wonderful reveals and the transitions from land to land and even within the land, because Adventureland, as we said, represents a number of different yet connected regions, but it flows into each other so seamlessly, going from sort of an African area to, something that's more Middle East. It's just, there's this seamless transition, both aesthetically, visually, in the audio, in the background, and the sights and the smells. It really is a park in all five senses, 360 degrees, that just was very, very thoughtfully well laid out. So, Jamie Robbins, nice to see you. Ellen and Matt Shaw, hoping to go to Disneyland Paris one day. Hannah says, it is my dream to celebrate my birthday in Disneyland Paris. Becky is singing Hatman, na 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 na. Hatman. And yes, Kira, it is Sheldon. A few of you got this right. So it's from San Francisco. It's from the school. Here's the question for you. What is the name of the mascot of the school in which Tadashi and then eventually Hiro Hamada go? What is the name of the school mascot? You can sort of get where it starts here, but they don't say it. I don't think they actually say it in the movies. So Becky says, and I agree, you should never spend just 1 hour in Disneyland Paris, but if you could, like if we had just sort of this magic box that you could walk into and go and spend an hour, that's where I would do it. And yes, believe it or not, I wouldn't go there to eat first. Now that speaks volumes about a lot of different things, but yeah, it's the the overall look of the park, I think, is one of its most attractive aspects to it. Emily says, I need to see Phantom Manor and I need to see the castle in person. Emily, I promise you that pictures and videos do not do that castle justice, especially because, and I think we talked about this, how you're able to walk around the entire perimeter of the castle and it almost takes on a different shape. And, it's funny because if you're looking at the castle straight on and you go to the right side, the way it almost looks like a dragon's tail. The way it sort of, pardon the pun, it sort of tails off and sort of comes to a point as you go down these stairs and sort of wraps around in this wonderfully like winding way. It's spectacular. So depending on the angle you look at it from and the time of day or night you look at it from, that castle takes on new light and new life. And again, just really, really, really gorgeous. So, let's see. See, I knew Becky was going to say that. We're going to do another date that. So Ashley says Phantom Manor was closed when it's it recently reopened with a lot of those updates. And I think Ashley, we said on the show too, my daughter was devastated when we got there and the dragon was closed and we weren't able to see the dragon. So we have to go back again just for the dragon. Sam McGee says Disneyland Paris is my home park. It's incredible since Disney took over 100%. It's improved so much. So Sam, I was not there before Disney took over, but you definitely see and you get a sense, especially in places like Disney Village and in the studios, that there is this transition happening. There's a greater Disneyfication of, that's not a word, I know, but you know what I mean, a Disneyfication of those spaces. And I think the way they look now versus the way they're going to look in 6, 12, 18, 24 months is going to be vastly different. Especially in places like Disney Village, there's a lot of walls up, and that's not a bad thing because even some of the stuff that is there, you can see is a little bit dated. You can see that there's this transformation that I think is starting to happen through the parks. So Chef Bob is in the house. Hey, Chef, you can tell Chef Bob has moved to Texas because now he's saying, hey, y'all. Chef Bob never said y'all when he was at the boathouse. Chef, it's good to see you. How are things going with your new Italian restaurant, which I cannot wait to come down and see. I want to come down and see it. I want to review it, and I want to go live from your new restaurant with Chef Bob. Or do we have to call him Chef Roberto now because he has to have more of a little Italian flair? Is it Getchel or is it like Di Getchelo? Are you going to sort of Italianize your name? So Jim says the long flight's a killer. It's funny. It's actually not that bad, and maybe because it's all relative. Becky can speak to, a long flight is Japan. A long flight is China. When you're talking like 18, 19, 22 hours in a plane, that's a long flight. We first flew from MCO. We flew from Orlando to London Heathrow on the way there, which is about 7 hours or so. And then it's a quick jump over to Paris. On the way back, we went to, no, I'm doing this backwards. No, you're doing this right, Lou. On the way back, we went to JFK, which is about 6 hours and then 2.5 back. So it breaks it up a little bit, and it really isn't too bad, especially when you go, depending on, are you like are you a red eye, like sleeper on the plane, or you can get work or catch up on movies and books and things like that. So Nick Palazzo, Disney Village is in the process of being updated. There are things that I realized are not there anymore that I had read about that were there at some time. So you can see that certain things are closed and has gone. Ashley says, sunset on that castle. I agree. And if you go back, and if somebody wants to link to it, if you go back to the live video that we did, maybe it's the time of year or whatever. So the sun sets very late there. and we got there for the drone show and the fireworks show, and the sun was just setting, and there's this the golden hour is the right term, because there was this golden, and I think I posted a couple pictures on my Instagram or my stories. There was this golden hue over the castle, which looked like it was fake. And then as it turned into like an orange and a burnt orange, and then the sun went down and the stars came out, it's spectacular. And the way the castle is illuminated at night, and then with the some of the twinkling lights that are on the turrets as part of the show is amazing. Mystic Renegade, the UK donut guy. It is good to see you. Mystic Renegade came to our last meet of the month, which was at Port Orleans French Quarter and Scat Cats Club, which I totally dig. I need to go back to again. And I hadn't seen you in 9 years? 9 years earlier when we met, you brought me donuts. You came to the meet of the month and you brought me donuts again. And you're a good man. It was good to see you. And thanks for spending some time chatting with us as well, and watching tonight on YouTube as well. William Krasinski says the 18-hour flight to Japan was long when we went in 2010. It's long, but it's worth it. It is worth it. I would do that flight again tomorrow if I could. Yeah, Becky says Japan and China are killer, but worth every. Becky, I don't know if I would use the word killer. Especially where I don't think that your lay down pod is killer per se. I think if you were in row like 57 in the middle that doesn't recline with the restroom right behind you, that might be killer. It's a relative killer. Adrian and Arnold says they are going to Japan next spring, obviously taking a few days at Disney Tokyo. I'm so glad I fall asleep immediately on planes. Yeah, some people can. Some people like the right out. Some people are not. One day I'll share the story. I fell asleep on a plane and it did not work out well for me. Some people who were my friends, who aren't my friends anymore, took advantage of the fact that I was really, really sort of passed out, but it's another conversation for another evening. So when is the next meet of the month? It's a really good question, Ashley. I knew somebody was going to ask that and I wasn't going to get away. I'm trying to figure out where and how I can fit it in. I'm leaving on Monday where am I going? I'm going to Colorado. A teeny tiny, the town's like this big, like in a valley, in the mountains of Colorado for a few days to speak. And then I've got another thing. So I'm trying to figure out when I can fit in a meet of the month this year. Scott, we just determined this is from Big Hero 6 from San Francisco. I didn't see anybody tell me, let me go back. I didn't see if anybody got the name of the San Francisco mascot, right? What is the name of the mascot from the school in Big Hero 6 in San Francisco? Some people say Xanax is their friend. Some people say, Becky says Ambien doesn't have. I don't necessarily, recommend, but sometimes you need a little bit of help. Melatonin gummies. They're all natural. They're not bad for you. They don't make you sort of feel tired when you wake up. They're a godsend. They are an absolute godsend. So. Emily Ennis gets it right. It is the San Francisco Ninjas from Big Hero 6. I don't think they actually mentioned the ninjas in there, or maybe it's I think it might be on like a banner in the background. That's where you're able to pick it up. So, brava. Well done. It just says I was born tired. It is my superpower. Bill says I need meds on the long flights. I like being able to. I used to like when there was no Wi-Fi on planes. It was like cruises because it was the only time I could bring a book. Now with Wi-Fi, I'm like, I almost feel like Catholic Italian guilt, like I have to do work. But it's also a good opportunity to catch up on, just some entertainment and some mindless stuff. And some of the airlines have really good entertainment systems in them, like 100 different movies to choose from, and some unique and obscure stuff as well. I always load up my phone with a bunch of stuff to catch up on as well. So Corey Bassett says, which park would benefit most from a drone show? Any and or all of them, Corey Bassett. I think, so you'll never see drones in Animal Kingdom, right? I just don't think you're ever going to see that just because of the safety of the animal. So we'll sort of take that out of contention. But a drone show over Cinderella Castle behind Fantasyland, if there was a way to do it sort of up and down Main Street, I mean, I think there's the safety and liability that you have to worry about. We're sort of taking that out of consideration. But and certainly Epcot over the lagoon, I'm wildly surprised that hasn't happened yet. You wonder if it might happen in this next iteration of shows coming to World Showcase. It's done really well. It's done really, really well. If you go back again to the video that I did from Disneyland Paris, it and I know I admit I'm caught up in the moment, and you know, you always remember the last one that you saw, but the castle shows there with the drones, with the lasers, with the projections, with the lights, with the fireworks, with the water. I think it may be the best nighttime show I've seen at a Disney park. And I know that is saying a lot, but the backdrop of that castle and the way that they designed the drones, and unfortunately it wasn't here when we went last time, the drone show that they did in Walt Disney Studios over Tower of Terror, themed after, wait for it, the Avengers, we saw in March, was crazy good. To have drones, and there's a video of that on the Facebook page. If you go into the live video section, you can still find it there. The drones take shapes of all different Marvel characters, and spoiler alert, it ends with Spider-Man hanging off the side of the Tower of Terror building with projections going on, music blaring. It's really, really, really well done. So it would have to be in world in a way that would be far enough away for guests. So if something crazy happened, if a gust of wind, if, you know, you couldn't run the risk of somebody getting hurt. Jim says, did the drone show look as cool as they did on video? No, it's 100 times cooler. It is 100 times cooler. Video, even with the quality of live video, cannot convey the clarity and the brilliance and the synchronized ballet that is these drones that obviously are in complete silence. And again, with the kinetic elements that they add on top of that, it really made for something that was, and I know I'm gushing. I admit that I'm gushing. Again, Disneyland Paris is the new girlfriend. Like, you know, she's brand new and I love her so much and she's so beautiful, but I love her so much and she's so beautiful. And, you know, it's, I unapologetically gush over her. So, let's see if Epcot can move past the Stargate, then they have a big wow factor show. Yeah, I mean, look, drones are the new kites, right? Drones are the new Skylidoscope. Drones are the new iterations of things that they've done. Look, they've got that lagoon with a wide enough radius of a perimeter that you can have drones in there. I'm sure they've tried it. I'm sure they've tested it before. They've done it in Disney Springs that one time that we were there for Christmas a number of years ago. There's got to be a reason and a way that they can do it again. So, some people are talking about their favorite airlines. I love Delta as well too. I love Delta and or whatever airline will get me there nonstop, preferably. I try and avoid the Frontiers and the Spirits as much as I can, like the plague. But yeah, sometimes you just go where you have to go. So, by the way, and it's good that Becky's here, because if you have any questions about Disneyland Paris, I know we said we were going to do this on a specific Disneyland Paris show, but we might as well just take some here if you have any questions along the way. And I see that many of you said how much you'd love to go to Disneyland Paris for the first time. or to go back to Disneyland Paris again, cue the music. I don't have any music to cue. I mean, I could cue some music. I can cue some music. That is why, thanks to Disneyland Paris, we have a contest to help you get to Disneyland Paris. All right, now let's stop the music. Wait a minute. For the next 2 weeks, we are doing a giveaway to Disneyland Paris for not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 people. This is awesome. I'll show you exactly what it is. So if you go to www.com/DLP giveaway, you can find this page and all the details that tell you all about what this giveaway entails, what you get. 4 days, 3 nights in Disney's Hotel New York, the Art of Marvel. It's where my daughter and I stayed. It's super cool. It was the old it was the old New Yorker hotel that they sort of did a Marvel overlay on top of. It's the closest by walking distance to any of the parks. It's super easy. It's well themed, good restaurants. You also get 4 tickets for 4 days for 4 people in both of the Disney parks. Food vouchers for, get this, breakfast and lunch and dinner the whole time. And a lot of other epic surprises as well. A lot more to see about what is going on for the 30th anniversary, as well as what this entails. And here are the details about how to enter. You can also find them on the podcast this week. Everything takes place on Instagram. So my Instagram is instagram.com/LouMongello. You'll find a copy of this in the post there. It's easy. Like, subscribe, join the community, subscribe to the newsletter. You've probably done all those things already, I hope. Follow me on and Disneyland Paris on Instagram. Respond to a question, right? What thing would you love to experience most? And then tag somebody you want to go with. You can answer and respond more than once as long as you tag a different person. The more you enter, the better chance you have to win. And then the contest is going to run until next Sunday, June 25th at 5 o'clock, and then I'll announce it on Instagram and the show. And then here's all of the specific terms and conditions and the legal mumbo jumbo that you need to know. But yeah, we have, we've given you 30 reasons. You got about 15 of them on this week. You get the next 15 there. But this is a great opportunity to visit or go back again to Disneyland Paris. And I'm really, really excited to go this. Stan Solo says, did I like the Marvel show at Studios or the nighttime show at Disneyland Paris? But you know what? I didn't think that anything was going to beat the Marvel show because, I'm a Marvel guy. Look around. I liked the show in Disneyland Paris better. I liked the music, the drones, the story, the lighting, the effects. I loved the Peter Pan shadow story and the selection of classic and modern Disney music that is classic and modern Disney music. It's not redone. It's not a new updated version of it. It's the songs and the characters that we know and love. There was an emotional connection to the castle shows here that I haven't had as much in some of the other parks recently. So the Disneyland Paris contest, the giveaway is open for not just Canadians, our friends to the north with oh so good poutine, but anyone can win. You just need to get yourself there. I can't get you to Paris, but if you can get yourself there, I believe anybody can win. So everything is in the terms and conditions. So Paris and Disney, 2 of my favorites, says Mark Lamoyu. It's Stan Solo, I love Paris so much, I would move there. My daughter said the same thing. She's like, I could see myself living in Paris. I'm like, well, I guess I'm moving to Paris. It's fine. I should probably get DisneylandParisRadio.com because just in case. And yes, Corey, if you want to bring me, if you win and you want to bring me, not that this will impact, it's going to be completely random how the winner is chosen, but I wouldn't say no. I would not say no. So, oh my God, we would have so much fun. It's an easy flight. 8-9 hours, boom, you're right there. I could do it, no sweat. Becky Mankin, it hits all the Disney fan targets. I agree. That's a great way to describe the nighttime show there. It is, and again, that castle helps make that show even better. So, Laura, did you get a chance to eat any macarons in Paris? I heard Disneyland Paris has some delicious. So we did. They had some at some of the restaurants we went to. We went to. Oh gosh, why am I forgetting the one on Main Street? Because it's not the Plaza. It's their version of the Plaza restaurant, the Plaza Corner, whatever. They had some 30th anniversary macarons. We also had some in Paris. I wish my daughter was here because it was a famous macaron place that it begins with an L. We went to and we said, "Oh, we'll get 6 of them. We'll eat one each and we'll bring the rest home." We ate them all. We ate them all because they were so good. So, Kevin Shea, good to see you, brother. I love the contest. So generous. Been to Paris a few times. Never to Disneyland Paris. No, never to a Disney park. Paris is special, brother. You have got to go. You have got to go to Disneyland Paris because it is that beautiful. I'm sure there's a research trip you can put in there at some point. So. Angela Batista, don't you dare. But I almost didn't say it out loud. So, I see a lot of people talking about going to see a theater show in London. We didn't get a chance to do it in London or Paris, but I had some other friends. I'm not sure if he's here. Was sending me and my daughter pictures from a couple of shows they went to in London. They said that the theater experience there was remarkably good. For Lauderay, I'm not pronouncing it right, but that place, that's it. Really good, worth every penny. I don't even know what I spent because it was all in euros, but Lauderay, whatever, so good. So yeah, we had a blast, and I'm happy that we're able to offer the giveaway for you. And listen, it's okay, because even if you don't win, I have another way for you to get to Disneyland Paris. In fact, it's even a better way because you can go when and how and where and with whom you want by going to visit mousefantravel.com. Look at that segue. Look at that. It's just like she wrote it. Mousefan Travel can help you not just get to the domestic parks, but certainly Disneyland Paris as well. They have a lot of travel advisors who have experience going to those parks, can help give you the guidance because it is foreign. I don't mean foreign just because it's overseas, but foreign in terms of it's done. Certain things are done differently than they are in the States. So having somebody to help you plan who has planned before and has sort of learned the lessons, made the mistakes, and knows the ins and outs is very, very helpful. And again, it comes at no cost to you. So the West End of London, just a channel away. Amanda says I need to see shows on the West End for sure. Oh, Amanda, I don't have my Nomad Lounge shirt, but if you go to meandthemagic.com, check out Amanda's brand new line of loungewear, like lounge because you get to hang out in it, and lounge based on the lounges of Walt Disney World. So super cool. I have a Nomad Lounge and I have a Rose and Crown Lounge shirt, which, by the way, very, very comfy. Like, they are good to lounge around in as well. I need to do a top 10 lounge show. If only there was somebody. That's Becky screaming. I could hear it now. Oh wait, as long as I'm giving love and grief to Becky Mankin, I also have to give thanks to Becky Mankin because was it last week? 2 weeks ago? I don't know. My space-time continuum in my brain is all messed up. We were talking about, somehow we ended up talking about like candies and foods we grew up with. Literally the next day, a box shows up and like it made that noise. And usually when Becky sends me a nondescript box, I get very, very nervous. I get excited. She just texted me, and I think that there's a potty mouth word in there. But this one was good because it was a box of boxes of Good and Plenty. So my childhood nostalgia was met, and it's candy and licorice. And I almost put one in my mouth right now, but I can't because I'm live. Yes, Emily, my phone does explode. So, Let me see. Lori Oliveri says, thank you for booking with me. We love Lori Oliveri. Heather says, it's pronounced Ledere. I wouldn't do well in France. I feel like when and then I'll get made fun of. If I try and do the accent, they're like, oh, look at you, French boy. And then if I don't do the accent, oh, look at you, Orlando boy. I can't win either way. And I just sometimes feel like I'm not saying it right. And so, but I did get a couple of messages and emails from people because I must have said something like that on the show. And they were like, don't sweat it, man. Like you pronounce the name of the castle just fine. So I didn't feel as though I potentially offended an entire nation. So, as a new mom, I thrive in athleisure. So, one, congratulations. Two, I also thrive in that I just take the ath part off. I'm a loungewear kind of guy. I'm a comfy, short, like super soft t-shirty around the house kind of, much like I'm wearing right now. This is my work uniform. And sometimes I'll even leave the house. I don't care. I have no shame. Like if I feel like lounging around, I'm going to lounge around. Karen's having a I haven't had a Charleston Chew in ages. Becky said I have to bring it. Becky, I kept one to the side unopened just for you. I mean, it's also an emergency backup because I am plowing through this box. Oh, it's a fat-free candy, which in my mind means it's a health food. 110 calories, 0 grams of saturated fat, so 19 total grams of protein. I mean, sugars. It's sugar and protein. They're the same thing. They do all the same thing. So, Bo Venture said, watching on YouTube, said, did you see the Spider-Verse? I did. And we should have a Spider-Verse conversation at a separate time. Maybe we'll have it in the spoiler support group for anybody who didn't see it. But it's the first movie in a long time, possibly since Endgame, that I walked out of the theater and I said, I need to go back into the theater and see it again. My son has seen it 5 times. 9 times? No, 5 times. It was an obscure Ferris Bueller reference. It's brilliant. It's beautiful. It's emotional. It's nostalgic. It pays fan service without being like overly goofy. It's really, really well done. And there's an emotional component to it as well. It's all the things. It's a near perfect hero movie, not superhero cartoon movie or animated movie, but a near perfect superhero movie. It's a top 5 like superhero movie, which is something that's a conversation we have to have too. The top 10 all time superhero movies: Superman 4, Quest for Peace, Red Sonja, the Batman with Mr. Freeze, which I never even got to see the end of because, Corey Bassett says, what is that? That is my Tron identity disc from, I've had that for a while. That's like when Legacy first came out. I think I got that. I had another one that lit up and made noise and sound and did all kinds of cool stuff. And I gave it to my son. God only knows that how deep it's buried in the back of his closet somewhere. But that's just simple. And good Lord, Becky Menken. Like, I can forgive you not seeing Black Widow. I can forgive you not seeing some of the other movies. It's unforgivable. It's inconceivable that you have not seen Into the Spider-Man. And do not watch some of these movies on your, I can't call it a little screen, on your giant flat screen TV in your pod in first class. You need to see Spider-Verse in the theater. It's also one of the movies I think has to be seen in the theater to get the proper effect. So, by the way, speaking of Spider-Man, rest in peace, John Romita Sr., one of the early artists of Spider-Man who really helped to mold and define who that character, I should see those characters, Peter Parker and Spider-Man, really were. One of my favorite all-time Spider-Man artists. I love Ditko. I love some of the early stuff, that sort of very early 60s look that it had. But Romita Sr. is also one of my favorite artists. So, Let's see. Our longest wait at Disneyland Paris was 45 minutes for Crush. Rain on and off all day. We actually had beautiful weather. It was perfect. It didn't rain. It was in like the 70s every day. It was a blessing with the weather. When you go to Disneyland Paris is important too. Again, something to talk to your Mouse Fan travel advisor and get some advice from other people, because it gets cold, like really cold. It snows. There's rainy season. So, and I would like to actually go when it snows, because I'm sure that not just visually, the aesthetic of the snow on the ground, but when the snow falls, I have my snow voice on now, but when the snow falls, there is this, there's a dampening of sound, right? It sort of muffles a sound. And there's a quiet that's associated with that. And I would love, love, love to walk on Main Street in Disneyland Paris, like right after a fresh snowfall, and just listen. Like, I want to hear the sounds of that park. And then as sort of the cacophony of voices starts to rise as more and more people come in, how that background melody starts to change a little bit, and how sort of even the music is muffled ever so slightly. It's probably gorgeous. It is probably absolutely gorgeous. So Brian Jones says it's a work of art come to life. I think you're talking about Spider-Man, but I think you can also be talking about Disneyland Paris as well. So do you need to see the first Spider-Verse before seeing the second one? Yeah, Stan, I think you should. I think you should. I think you could see the second one, but I think certain things just won't make any sense to you. And then there are certain moments that will not have the same level of gravitas because you haven't seen the first one. So, Ben says, you never know what the weather's going to be like in Disneyland Paris. We've also had really hot and really cold. So Jim, I didn't mean to put on my snow voice. My daughter makes fun of me all the time. She's like, Dad, you get your radio voice on. I'm like, no, I don't. This is the way I talk. She's like, you're doing it right now. There it is. There's the radio voice. So I'm trying to do less of the radio voice, but it is. When you talk about the snow, you have to sort of like change your cadence a little bit, and you just sort of take everything down and talk about like the quiet of the snowfall. So, Elizabeth says, both times I was in DLP, it was cold like freezing. The rides were closed because the water freezes back in 2005 or 2006. Speaking of the water and water rides in Disneyland Paris, I have 4 words for you. It's a small world. The new, recently reopened Small World is breathtakingly beautiful. It's my favorite Small World. It is my favorite Small World. Not just because it's got a fresh coat of paint on it, but the way countries are represented, the French version of Small World playing in the background, the representation of America is fascinating to me. Like, my daughter and I were in all, we rode it a couple times, and I wonder if people from other countries feel the same way when they ride Small World. Like, I don't want to spoil it for you, but like, there's a big Hollywood sign at one section. Like, and I'm like, is this how people in other countries perceive what America is? Just like in Frontierland, like it is a foreign concept of what Frontierland is and or was like, and that's the only way to sort of describe it. Let's see. Corey says, yeah, the new 1,000-foot drop on Small World is great. It's the Ring of Fire really is the thing that surprises me most. Hyperspace was fun. We didn't expect anything. Cowboys and chaps. The Crush's Coaster queue, Amy, the Crush's Coaster itself was a huge surprise. You see the little vehicle outside, so you get a sense of what it's like, but it's a very fun, very different type of attraction. Same thing for Indiana Jones and the Temple of Peril, which I understand was another attraction. Was sort of, but it's a very rough ride. Indy was even my daughter's like, yeah, this is a one and done for me. Ashley, great question. Now that you've recently visited, how many days would I recommend for visiting Disneyland Paris? You can do it in 2. I think you can do it in 2. You should do it in 3. I think 3 days is the right amount of time because there's not a ton in Studios Park, and I think that Disneyland Paris should be savored. It's not just ticking attractions off a list. There's a lot of things that you need to sort of go slow and see and explore and then do again. The Premier Pass, without doubt, is the best in money you're ever going to invest. $100, whatever it is absolutely worth it. It is a really, really good, smart way. I don't know if it would work here, but man, they've got it right down there. Getting that pass, being able to walk to any of the attractions that are available anytime you want, using your pass, skipping the line. We didn't wait for anything. Like, we waited for nothing. We had time to spare, which we loved because we could just take in the park and just wander and explore. There's no paper maps. So you have the map on the app. Didn't mean to rhyme. You have the map on the app, but I think the park is designed just to sort of let yourself go. And the last day, I didn't know this, there's like a secret shortcut from Main Street to Frontierland. Like, you skip going all the way out and around. There's this little hidden pathway to Frontierland. I'm like, that's awesome. It's little things like that I really loved and loved exploring. So the long answer for your short question is 3 days. French, without a doubt. I think it is the best investment of money to do that. Stan Solo, I also agree. The music in the park is beautiful. Howie, also the detail in Small World is exceptional. It is really, really, and both inside and out. Inside and out, the attraction is gorgeous. Let's see. Is paying for a Premier Pass worth it? Howie, my daughter, she lost her marbles over the Lion King shows. She is studying stage management. That is her jam. She was very, 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 very impressed with that show. We did not get a chance to see. So we were there for 3 days. We did not get a chance to see Mickey the Magician. We didn't get to see that. We did not, obviously the dragon was closed. There was a couple of things that we didn't get to, we could have spent a little bit more time if we wanted to make sure we quote unquote saw everything and did everything. We could have even used, and by the way, not only is the Premier Pass worth it, but I don't know what it's called, but it's basically for shows like Lion King, they have a skip the line ticket. So the first day we were going to Lion King, we had gotten there a half hour early, and the line was 33 kilometers long. I don't know how long that is in actual feet. It was huge. There was no way we were getting in. I realized at that point that you could buy a reserved ticket for another show. So we did it the next day. There was 5 people or so in line in front of us for the showtime we selected. There was maybe, 100, 200 people, whatever it is. But you skip the entire line. There's a separate queue. You go in early, reserved seats, front and center, best view. And I think it was $15 or $17 per person. Time is money. Rather than spending an hour 15, whatever it is, waiting in a line and getting a bad seat, that was $17 very, very well spent. So, yeah, the different currency. So I just the euro is basically $1, right? It's like 1.07, whatever it is. So I just sort of equated the euro to be $1. French, the best time of year to visit. The weather this time was perfect. It was shorts and t-shirt weather, and then it got cool at night. I had a fleece or a sweater in my bag for nighttime. When we went in March, it was colder. It was rainy and drizzly. It was a little bit more gray and overcast, depending on what your sort of jam is. But we had to have jeans, sweaters, and jackets and hoodies and umbrellas. This was shorts and t-shirt weather going in late May. So take that information and do what you like with it. But it was a really, really, really nice time to go. So, let's let's see. Let me quickly go through. Let me go back. Becky says you can also do so. Becky says you can do 4. So Becky, I was thinking specifically about the parks. Like I think if you're depending on where you're coming from, and if you have the time and the means to do it, if you are able to spend an additional day in Paris before or after, like without a doubt, the best thing that my daughter and I did was extend for a couple days in Paris, and we did a lot in a very, very short period of time, like 2.5. Let's see, we were there Thursday. We got to Paris Thursday afternoon. We left Sunday morning, so 2.5 days. We did a lot. We did a lot of walking. So bring comfortable shoes, by the way. Ben says a jumper is required in the evenings. He means a sweater. I think that's what they call a sweater in the UK, is a jumper. Let's see. Yeah, I have some friends. I saw somebody mention Belgium. I have some friends who go to Disneyland Paris very often. And the last time when we were there in March, they were there too, but they actually they had just taken a train over to Belgium for the day. So it sounds like a lot of other places are easily accessible from Paris. And again, having that train station there, and once you understand how the trains work, it was great. Even we did an Uber one night. There was one night that the trains weren't running. We went with Becky in March. They had gone back early, and we stayed to see. What did we stay and see? We stayed to see the drone show. We stayed to see the drone show in Studios Park, and we took an Uber back, and it was not expensive at all. There's Ubers come right to Disney Village, so it was very easy as well. So, Amy says Disney California Adventure or Disney Paris Studios. It's not even close. The Walt Disney Studios in Disneyland Paris right now is, there's not a ton to do there. Crush's Coaster, Remy, the Toy Story Land, Avengers Campus, Tower of Terror. Other than that, there's not really a ton to do there. You can get a lot done pretty quickly, especially if you have the Premier Pass. That's going to change when some of these attractions, I think, get updated, whether some things get brought into the studios when Frozen opens in 2024. So I love California Adventure. So they are on, I think they're on different planes right now. That being said, Avengers Campus there is very cool. Flight Force is a great attraction. It wasn't an original roller coaster that was themed with Tony Stark and Captain Marvel, but it's a great experience. So let me see. Nothing beats the bullet trains in Japan. William, I agree with you. Going to Japan is on the list as well. How have we not talked about food? I think we mentioned it a little bit on the show, or we're going to mention it on next week's show. Food is done differently in Disneyland Paris. And to just sort of quickly summarize, all table service restaurants are prix fixe. Even Pim's Kitchen, which is a buffet. So you pay a single price, and then you have an option to choose from an appetizer, an entree, a dessert, and then if you do the wine pairing, sometimes they have wine pairing options. So like Waltz was like $55. You could choose one of the three, and I think $70 was with a wine pairing option. It holds true for all of the table service restaurants. There are no a la carte. So we ate at Remy's restaurant in Walt Disney Studios Park. Same thing. Everything was prix fixe. Even the snacks, like if you're looking for the snacks that you're used to in other parks, there are no chimichangas. There are no hot dogs. There are no churros. Like a lot of things that you're used to are not there. You'll find beignets. You'll find crepes. The best thing that we ate was, I loved the Mickey beignet I had on Main Street, and I had a croque monsieur, which was probably the best overall thing that we ate other than Pim's Test Kitchen and Waltz. But the food and the food option there are very, very, very different. But you'll also find things like you'll go to an ice cream stand outside of Alice's Curious Labyrinth, and they'll have espresso there. So we made, like Marion talking about, making like affogatos, which is like ice cream with espresso in it. So the portions are absolutely worth the price. Like we never left hungry I did feel that sometimes, especially in places like Remy, they might be smaller than what you would get in the States, but the prices weren't crazy as well. I felt that Waltz was a great value, and I think it was $50 or $55. By the way, did I mention that for like the giveaway, they're giving you food vouchers that you can use throughout the parks and resorts? Phew, crazy, I know. And sometimes you just want like a croissant or something in the morning. But we did the breakfast buffet at Art of Marvel, which was nice because they had like sort of like an American buffet, and they had like the French buffet, and they also had stuff that you see like for more English guests, like an English breakfast with like beans and things like that on it. So Becky says he also has the best meal plans too. I know you were talking on the show about the different names of the meal plans there as well. So let me see what else. Let me just catch up. Firefighter 2 says, talking about the food, I'm so happy that they brought back the dining plans. I think a lot of people are very happy as well. Tom Free says, what were your impressions of the Disneyland Paris cast members? I liked them very much, but it was a different vibe, of course. So, I think, Tom, many, many years ago when the park first opened, and I hadn't gone, so I can't speak to it, but there was a reputation about the French cast members not giving off the same warm and fuzzy vibe that American cast members necessarily did. I feel like that has changed, or at least my experience in going. I felt that the cast members were very friendly. The language barrier was never a barrier. Everybody spoke English and didn't seem nobody ever seemed mad if you couldn't speak French or if you didn't try to speak French. I was almost afraid to try and speak French because I didn't want to make really get them upset with my poor pronunciations of it. But I thought they were all very, very friendly. They were very nice. So I didn't really see any of that at all there. So let's see. I had cheese and baguettes. Some of the best meals I had when I was in Paris were croissants and bread and just some jams and butter and coffee it's exactly what you imagine it to be. Sitting at a little outside cafe on little chairs at a sweetheart table, just watching the world go by were some of my favorite meals. And don't tell my daughter, but some of my favorite memories as well. That was the best part of the whole trip. Shh, don't say anything. So somebody's talking about the dialogue. So for some attractions were almost exclusively in French, but they do something that's brilliant, is that the dialogue that will happen, right? We're talking about a dialogue between two people. One person will speak in French and one will speak in English. So you're only catching one side, but there's enough exposition in their dialogue that you understand the context of the conversation. So I'm thinking about Captain Marvel speaking in English, talking to Tony Stark speaking in French in Flight Force. Everything that happened in the queue made total sense to me. When Thor, who's speaking in French, is talking to Loki, who's speaking in English, at the character encounter and the sort of the mini show that takes place in Avengers Campus, it all made perfect sense. That is the way all these things happen. Now, when we went to go, we had a very special private meet and greet with Spider-Man, thanks to the folks at Disneyland Paris, who were very, very kind to us while we were there. Spider-Man spoke perfect English, like no French accent there. That was Peter Parker from Queens. He had a little bit of Queens thing going on there. He absolutely was Peter Parker. So there was no, even so, and I can say this, I don't think I said it on the show. Did I? I can say this now because I have control of the video. So the folks at Disneyland Paris had prearranged for me to be part of the show with Star-Lord and Gamora I didn't know this was happening, I swear. Prearranged for me to be part of the show with Star-Lord and Gamora and the dance-off in Avengers Campus. Don't bother trying to bribe my daughter because I have the video, she doesn't. And and Star-Lord spoke French and Gamora spoke English. No, vice versa. No, that's right. Star-Lord spoke French, Gamora spoke, so I knew what was happening, and then Star-Lord would also sort of break into English when he needed to. So the bottom line is not everything is sort of fully in French. Even in Haunted Mansion, Phantom Manor, in the pre-show, and I love the Vincent Price dialogue that they brought in, which he recorded, because I loved Vincent Price. Like, I know I'm old, but like the old Vincent Price movies from like the 50s and 60s were awesome. His dialogue is in English, and then they have a French narrator sort of interspersed with him, so you clearly understand what is going on. Becky, stop. You can say Thor, but don't say yummy, because you make it weird. Like, really weird, borderline creepy. But yes, there's video. It's actually right. I actually have the video right here on my phone. Want to see it? Psych. It's not happening. It's, I mean, you'll see that before you see the grease tape, but I am an honorary Guardian of the Galaxy, Drew Pike, and I pulled out some... Wait a minute. Did I even pull out a grease dance move? I might have. I shouldn't say this out loud. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm going to go burn my phone. I got to go. There's no way. I'm going to show it. Denise also loves the Vincent Price move. The Pit and the Pendulum. I remember watching these like on Saturday or Sunday mornings as a kid, and I wonder if they still hold up. There was another one I started watching on streaming not too long ago, but it was really, really late at night. Maybe one of these nights Angela Batista, it's not on the internet. And I can talk about it and not show it, because let me see if I can find... I mean, I'm not going to show it to you, but it does exist because it's on my phone. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yep, there it is. Wait. I mean, that's it. That's all you're going to get. Incroyable. I mean, he wasn't talking about my dancing, but incroyable is that's it. Becky, you're never going to see that video. I'm going to delete it from my phone. I think I might just put it on a USB drive and then like put it in cement like I did the grease tape. How much is it worth to me? Yeah, there's Rebecca says there had to be other people there with cameras. Fortunately, they're all French, so good luck trying to find it. So it could have been more embarrassing, but it wasn't, it's not like I was breakdancing. Or did I? No. Don't give me the for the children thing. So Nick Palazzo says, I'm torn between DLP for the second time or Tokyo for the first. Nick, I know we're talking about Disneyland Paris, but Tokyo for the first time. It's not even close. Tokyo is a must do. You could even, not that you should, but if you have to only visit one park there, I'm going to say go to Tokyo Disney Sea. Tokyo Disney Sea is still the best of the best of the best of the best of all parks. So it's just different, and it's on another level. So look at everybody like telling Becky how to try and get the video. There is no iCloud backup. It's been removed from my Google Photos backup. Okay. I'm getting direct messages and texts, bribe, blackmail, cash. None of these things are going to work. So, but yeah, Tokyo Disney Sea is absolutely the answer. So, but yeah, so there's still a second half of our discussion of Disneyland Paris that's coming next week. Tomorrow is Thursday, which is, I can hear you saying it, it's Archive Day. I have a show from the archives that I am choosing for two reasons. One, because I happen to get a number of questions about it for some reason this week. I got a voicemail, I got an email, and then I think there was a conversation in the discussion forums about it. And two, because of Jim Korkis. It's an episode that I did with Jim Korkis. I won't repeat too much now, but you did see, hopefully, in the clubhouse, our very close friend and my very close friend, Jim Corcus, has been going through a very rough time. It just got a lot rougher. He said I could share this, so this is not speaking out of turn, but he's very, very sick. He's been recently diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. We have a GoFundMe going for Jim Corcus. You can find the post in the clubhouse, or you can find the GoFundMe by going to wdwradio.com/helpjim. I want to make it as easy for you to find as possible. If you can't donate anything, that's fine. If you can send up prayers, thoughts, good juju, whatever it is that you do to sort of put it out into God or the universe, I know Jim and I would really appreciate it. I saw him yesterday, and spent a few hours with him. I'm going back again in a couple of days, and I know it would mean a lot to Jim. So Garrett says, love that. So yeah, I was trying something different tonight. Garrett sort of multi-streaming to Facebook as well as to YouTube. I know you said you like, there's things that I like about YouTube, things I don't like about YouTube. The lack of community aspect is part of the issue there, but we'll see. I will definitely keep doing it this way as well. A couple more quick questions. I like the shopping and the merch at Disneyland Paris. We love the shops themselves and the shopping too. I really didn't bring myself anything back other than when we were there in March. The only thing I brought back was, which just goes to show you how much I love it, was a book about Phantom Manor. And they have a few of these. There's a Space Mountain book. There's a Phantom Manor book, and I think there's a third one in this series. I don't know what the other one is. Let's see if it says it in here. But it's beautiful, like with concept art and early drawings and stories. It's really, really, I haven't had a chance to actually read it yet, but it's a beautiful, beautiful book. So that was the one thing that I brought home. But if you are a member of the WDW Radio Nation, raise your hand. If you're a platinum member of the nation, raise your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care, because you are getting a Disneyland Paris care package coming very, very, very soon. So stay tuned. And thanks to all of you who have been helping out with Jim. Jim is a treasure and a font of knowledge, and he's been a good friend of mine and a supporter of mine. And Jim's been very kind to me for as long as I have known him. And he just needs some friends right now. So anyway, okay, moving on. Let's see. There's any quick questions that I could answer before I let you go for the night. I know some people like Facebook, some people like YouTube better, so we're going to try this. I'm going to go back and I'll watch the YouTube video and see how the quality is. Flip, good seeing you, man. Congratulations again on your son. And yes, I did not see PhilharMagic while we were there. PhilharMagic's in Tomorrowland in Disneyland Paris. Again, things sort of get like gap fillers sometimes, but the rest of Tomorrowland, Discoveryland, is absolutely beautiful. Discoveryland, I really love the Discoveryland aesthetic and the theming. The Nautilus was closed again, which I was bummed about, but hopefully next time we go, it should be good to go. So, all right. Final question. The best attraction in Disneyland Paris. If you're talking about ride, specifically ride, it's Phantom Manor. It's Phantom Manor. I don't think, for me, I don't think anything else comes close. I don't think anything else comes close to it. It's really, really good. It's a unique take and spin on the Haunted Mansion with the extra scene in the end, which there's a really rich story that's told there that bleeds out not just from the attraction but into Frontierland. So it really ties the land together. It makes Phantom Manor make sense in that land. And I think for those of you who've been there, it seems like Becky says Phantom Manor, Stan Soul says hands down Phantom Manor. So yeah, Dave, I know we live so far. We live so far away. I know we say it all the time, but really, when I'm back from traveling, whenever that's going to be, we'll grab some lunch or coffee one of these days. So, and no, the dance off will not be on YouTube. I'm going to go burn my phone when we had a nice run, but it's that's where it shall stay. I might as well just delete it. I should just delete it at this point and hope that and just take the memories with me. So. Anyway, that is going to do it for this week's show. Thank you again for tuning in tonight. Please help spread the word about this week's podcast about Disneyland Paris. I would love to know your thoughts. You can continue to post those in the clubhouse where you can be part of the community and conversation. And don't forget about our Disneyland Paris giveaway. Win a vacation for 4 to Disneyland Paris. Your tickets, your hotel at Art of Marvel, vouchers for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a few other surprises as well, which I can't tell you about. Definitely stay tuned for that. Other events that we have coming up, we still have some room available and an extension of the $750 per person discount to our Christmas Market River Cruise on the Danube Nat Geo Expedition. I cannot wait for this. To find out more, get a no obligation quote, visit www.radio.com/NatGeo23. I know somebody asked about London, Paris. It is sold out for next year, but you can get on the wait list by going to www.radio.com/ABD24. And of course, for any of these or anywhere you want to go, please go and visit mousefantravel.com. What else? I got an email yesterday, which was the day after my early bird discount for my Momentum Weekend Workshop ended. So just for you, because you're watching on the live show tonight, I created a discount code for you. If you want to still save $100 on your ticket, you can use discount code podcast100. I'm going to have an announcement later this week or early, probably next week. I'll have an announcement. I'll probably do a live show announcing some of the speakers and sessions. I think this is going to be our best year ever, including not 1, not 2, but now it is 3 days long. I'm forgetting other stuff. I don't know what it is. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Don't forget, by the way, to be part of the community conversation over in the clubhouse. Thanks to everyone who is part of the WDW Radio Nation family. I sincerely appreciate you and your love and your support and your friendship. And of course, finally, most importantly, always remember to choose the good, to be the good, and inspire others to do the same. Positivity, my friend, is contagious, and it starts with you. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for your friendship and support of me, of our family, of Mouse Fan Travel, of Jim, and everything that you've built here in the clubhouse. So until next time, see ya. Oh, I may be live tomorrow. Bye.